A walk on the east end of the Canadian National Railway's Tidewater Subdivision at Cowichan Bay on Vancouver Island. There are lots of other photographers here today with some really long lenses and hefty tripods. You'd think it was a bunch of rail fans looking at the CN Tidewater Subdivision, but apparently everyone else is interested in the birds. The Tidewater Subdivision was opened in 1925 and was a port of entry and departure for Canadian National Rail cars to and from Vancouver Island. This became the efficient departure port for log cars that came from the Cowichan Lake, Yubo, Kissinger area of the island's interior. The last train on the Tidewater Subdivision was March 30th, 1988, and I know that some of you watching this video were there on that day to see the last train. And your photographs are one of the reasons why I was interested in seeing the Tidewater Subdivision for myself. Thank you. Here's the location map of Vancouver Island, and the red circle is roughly where Cowichan Bay is located, and that is where the CN Tidewater Subdivision ends, which is where I visited. Here's a closer map of the Cowichan Valley area, just from Google Maps. And Deerholm on the left is the junction point of the CN Tidewater Subdivision and Cowichan Subdivision. I am saying this like it's happening in the present, but this all ended in 1988. So Deerholm is there. And the other circle is where the Tidewater Subdivision terminated at Cowichan Bay, which is a man-made causeway out to deeper water in the bay where a rail barge slip was built. Here is a map to show the route, and this is a really rough drawing by me of the approximate route from Deerholm to Cowichan Bay of the Tidewater Subdivision. And the portion of my walk is just this little part here shown in red, which is on the Cowichan and Coxsila estuary lands. And so I had my camera and tripod, so did many other people, but they were looking for birds and I was looking for rails. Cowichan Bay is one of those magnificent places with a combination of industrial history and just magnificent ecological qualities coming from two rivers that both empty into Cowichan Bay, the Coxsila River and the Cowichan River. And both of those rivers have two channels that enter the bay. So there's 4 different river channels, creating just a really great estuary, which has become a place for bird watchers and just nature lovers and people that love to go out for walks to enjoy. And part of the pathway that they walk on was the CN Tidewater Subdivision. And part of the pathway still has rails in it. And that's what I was looking for. The industrial property at Cowichan Bay is now the Cowichan Bay Terminal, part of Western Stevedoring, and I'm just getting this from their website. As with all my videos, my main enjoyment is to go out and find places and see them for myself, and then to present the video and photographs in just a good, easy to understand presentation that hopefully you enjoy and I enjoy putting together. But there's usually a lot of questions that I have as to what I'm actually seeing, what it all means, and so you can fill in those gaps however you wish for you to understand what I'm seeing, and for any of the things where I guess and speculate and get it wrong, just take a drink every time I make a mistake. That'll make the video better. And last but most important of all, if you're watching this video, Hey, I really appreciate you watching this and taking the time to watch some of my work, and I hope you enjoy it, and I thank you for your time. I'm at Cowichan Bay, and here's the timber pile trestle from the CN Tidewater Subdivision, and it has now been repurposed as a pedestrian bridge for the nature trail. Let's cross the railway bridge. So you can see the ties on either side. And then I'm basically going to be following the CN grade towards the ocean. And this is where I should see some rails in the ground. I'm coming up to the spot now where there is railway evidence. Finally. That's what I've been looking for. Just this scene right here. And I'll continue it down and see how far the rails go. Okay, into the grade I go. I'm so glad that there's still ties and rails here as a remnant of the CN Tidewater sub. I like it when there's bits of history remaining. It's not good when it's totally erased. I like glimpses of it here and there. Just old ties. I could be walking on the ENN somewhere. Okay, so here would have been a rail bridge that's been removed, and now there's a pedestrian bridge, much simpler, much lighter, and then the ties and rails will continue. Here's where the rails pick up again. When the leaves turn color in autumn, this would be a lovely place with a tree tunnel. Right now, it's just winter. This is really pretty here. There are lots of other photographers here today with some really long lenses and hefty tripods. You'd think it was a bunch of rail fans looking at the CN Tidewater Subdivision, but apparently everyone else is interested in the birds. Just saw a few trumpeter swans flying overhead, and there's all sorts of other little birds. This is a hot spot for bird watchers, bird photographers, I think. It makes sense. It's the estuary of the Cowichan River. I tell ya, I might feel odd and lonely sometimes for having weird hobbies and just being the oddball in almost every situation. But when I'm out here doing my hobby,
I just feel joy and happiness and peace and contentment. And this is my happy place. This is great. It's great to have interesting hobbies. And I just really love walking old railways. And if it's in a beautiful area like this, wow, so much the better. Today is a great day to be me, for me. When I started my walk here, near the parking lot, I didn't see any rails, and I was worried that perhaps it was just a really small section of rails that there would be. And I am very surprised at the length of the segment of track that remains here. This is great. Having just said that, perhaps it's time for it to end. Looking up ahead, it goes into weeds. I've done enough weed walking for today. Earlier today I was on the Crofton Spur X of the E&N Railway, working my way through blackberry bushes. I'm not going to do it again now, but this might be the end of the line. Well, I'm going to continue like down the road there. I'll see how it'll go. It's Mount Zuhalem. The railway just continues through there. I'll see if I can follow it from the roadway. Yeah, rails. Okay, I'll see if I will meet up with rail further on down, closer to the ocean edge. But for now, the road. Here's a spot. I'm thankful for this little gap. Not much to see, but I will set myself up for a photograph with rails, and that should be nice. The rails are close to the road here, so easy to keep them in sight as I walk. Rails are close to being covered up by the dirt and the grass and the plants here. And a curve coming up to set itself up for the jetty, the berth, the wharf, the slip, the whatever. I can picture the Kenora or the C-span Greg, well, the Greg York, that's what it would have been. I could picture them tied up here, taking on rail cars. Coming up to the end of rail here. What a beautiful spot. Mud flap here, lots of birds. That's what brings most of the people here. There's a plaque up ahead. Find out if it's about railway stuff. And here we have the end of the rail. Okay. End of rails here. Bit of a twist. Broken off. And some history. It has to do with the estuary and the salmon enhancement. And the railway would have gone across here and continued on. There it is. Now I'm in the land of guesswork, looking back at the end of rails there. The rail bridge would have crossed that channel, and the railway would have continued through here. And I'm just going to go a little ways on the public path, see if I see any more rail, but I'm thinking no. There's a bit of a spike and a plate, and stored through there a whole bunch of rail. Whole bunch of rail. Interesting. There's part of a frog for a switch. And some more rails stored down here to be used for not a railway, but who knows if they need something for a rebar. Lots of old railway timbers, or things that look like railway timbers as well. But these old rails have a home here under this tree. And there's more. I keep on finding more. It's just all laid out here. Dumped from when they removed the last bit. Some of it's twisted. Every time I think I've come to the end of the old rail stockpiles, I find more, but I think this is the end. This is beautiful out here at the estuary of the Cowichan River. And it's fun that I see old rails either in a pile here or in the ground on the pathway. And now I'm going to head back to my car. I'm really glad that I stopped in here. It's the first time I've been out here. Yeah, it only took me 53 years to make it. And I'm glad that I saw it when there's at least a few rails still around. And when I invent my time machine, I'll be able to go back and see trains operating. But I'm not ready for that yet. I live in a beautiful place, Vancouver Island. I have a lot to be thankful for. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you have a great day.